Hey YouTube, this is the Shroud Avenger here, and I'm here to talk about my difference. Now, I told you at the end of the last video that I've been diagnosed with Asperger's. Yes, I'm an Aspie, and I'm not ashamed of it. But here are a list of common myths and legends about Asperger syndrome. Now, let's get right here. Okay, myth number 1. Everyone with Asperger syndrome is a genius. I might be an intellectual, but I wasn't all that great in school because it was so hard to focus. I mean, I learned what I needed to learn, but it was just extremely difficult to pay attention because the teachers, at least to me, were very boring. I'm just and I'm a very kinetic worker. I like learning with my hands. It's easier for me. But the fact that they have listed here is some people with Asperger's are geniuses, some above average, or some are of average intelligence. Many are in the above average range, however. Myth number 2. People with Asperger's have no empathy for others. Now, I wouldn't say that. Okay? No empathy. I just have a hard time showing this empathy. Okay? Because that's... it'd be a jerk, but you know what? It's just how it is. But the fact is, though Aspies may have trouble showing empathy, most do have the ability to care about other human beings. My little brother, for instance. Okay, we're like this, pretty much. Okay? Now, Aspies cannot form romantic relationships. I've had about 3 girlfriends now. Don't tell me I can't form a romantic relationship. But the fact is, though many Aspies have trouble initiating romantic relationships and may have difficulty knowing what to do in a relationship, Aspies can and do date, get married, and have children just like everyone else. It is important for Aspies to find a partner who is able to be understanding of their condition and the idiosyncrasies that come with it. It is also important for Aspies to make an effort to see things from their partner's perspective, and that's what I try and do constantly. I try and understand their logic of things. Now, myth. Let's see. Hold on, I lost my place here. Myth number 4. Only males can have Asperger syndrome. I've actually seen a whole community of women with Asperger syndrome. Okay? And I will tell you right now, these are scientists. People with PhDs that study this. Versus your experience, which is based entirely on social bias. But the fact of the matter is, there are many females with the condition. Though many females remain undiagnosed for a variety of reasons, including the fact that girls are better at blending in, and that some Asperger's or Asperger's traits are seen as more socially acceptable in girls. That's right. I could agree with that. You know, timid behavior, obsessiveness about certain things, having only one kind of interest, and enthusiastic focus on that interest. You know, pretty much they make a religion out of it. Which is kind of what I did for a short time. I was into anime way back when. And I still kind of am, but I kind of phased out of it. But when I was into anime, oh my god. Okay, if I could replace God with my favorite anime character, I would, but I can't get away with it because, well, social woes, or social bias, you know, what they think, or whatever. You catch my drift, hopefully. Okay. Myth number 5, I believe. I'm sorry, I lose my place easily, okay? This is another myth. Life is more difficult for us females than females. I wouldn't say that. For one thing, I've never known homosexuals to be what do you call it? As forward as straight males. Because much like Asperger's syndrome, homosexuality is still a taboo, even though people have been more accepting of it. Now, I will be in the defense of homosexuality, being that I have Asperger's syndrome. People can think what they want, but in the end, they'll just end up pissing up a rope anyway. Alright? Now, back to the facts. Females have a different set of challenges than males, such as being more likely to be taken advantage of by neurotypical males. Absolutely. Now, another myth. I believe this is number 6 now. Asperger's is just an excuse to not be a part of society, and it doesn't actually exist. Really? Then how come I'm having a whole cadre of Harvard graduates that are saying it does? As opposed to you, who relies on social bias. Whose point is invalid. But the fact of the matter is, most Auspies desperately want to be part of society, they just don't know how to do it. I want to blend in. But, you know, it's for a variety of reasons. One being that people won't let me. People think it's, you know, it's just taboo. You know, why are you so timid? We don't bite. You know, some people I don't like, for reasons I cannot explain. Others, well, it's almost self-evident why I don't like them. You know, they act like tools. But anyway. 2. Asperger's people tend to express social awkwardness. I don't want to go in front of the cool kids and look like an idiot. That is the most embarrassing experience to ever happen. Okay? I've done it before, and I'm still scarred. Now, I'm not sure if there's a third one that I can name off the top of my head. No. 3 is the I'm going to come back and make a heavy emphasis on social bias. It's what they think of Asperger's in a nutshell. And that social bias is listed in these myths about Asperger's. But aside from that rant, let's move on to the next myth. Only children can have Asperger's. I'm 20 now. I still have Asperger's. But the fact of the matter is, though adults are able to develop better ways of coping and blending in with society, it is a lifelong condition. Many OSPE adults have trouble getting a formal diagnosis, and as it wasn't included in the DSM until 1994. 1994. Myth. All OSPEs are nerds and all nerds are OSPEs. I may be intellectual, but I didn't do all that great in school. Nothing really interested me, and what did? I had to have a prerequisite or whatever for that class. But the fact of the matter is, many OSPEs have interests that can be considered nerdy, but not everyone who considers themselves nerds, have Asperger's. Another myth. All people with Asperger's syndrome want to be cured. I've lived with this disease, or not, I shouldn't call it a disease, but I've lived with this difference my whole life. I don't want a cure. I don't want an answer. I'm fine, okay? It's all cool. Alright? But, the fact listed here, many OSPEs are against finding a cure. Me for one. As their OSPE traits are an integral part of who they are. I have a whole cadre of people that say they enjoy me for who I am. No, that's good enough. Okay? A whole damn family tree, and then some, that says they like me the way I am. Myth. People with Asperger's syndrome are mentally retarded. Now, why'd you have to go and sink that low? I have Asperger's syndrome. I did fine. And that's just outright insulting. And this is the social bias that I was talking about. The fact I would have listed here, underneath this, people are assholes. But the fact listed here is, to be diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, an individual must have at least normal intelligence. I was smarter than I looked in kindergarten when I was diagnosed with this difference. I can't call it an infirmity because it's not really an infirmity. If it was, I'd be on medication. I am not on medication. I refuse to take medication. I am fine the way I am. At least in my eyes. And you know what? I've always messed around in kindergarten, but you know what? I was able to repeat my ABCs 5 times over without mistake. Now, that didn't necessarily change the fact that they put me in special education, but whatever. Now, another myth. Asperger's is a disease. Last time I checked, they didn't have they didn't have medication for this. In Crohn's disease, they have medication for it. Alright? What else? Heart disease. Medication. What other diseases do you have that you have to take medications? I guess it's the only two I can really come up with off the top of my head. But the fact of the matter is, Asperger's is simply a neurological difference. Again, no medication to date. And the final myth, Asperger's is caused by vaccines. This one's kind of tricky. But it says here, the theory that vaccines cause autism and Asperger's syndrome has been disproven by a number of studies. It is now thought to be caused by genetics. What can I say? You know, these are doctors, people with PhDs that study this, as opposed to you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, that bases your beliefs, on social bias. Okay? What everyone else around you thinks. And your mob mentalities and just all this other fun shit. But that being said, this is the Shrouded Avenger here, giving you a little education on Asperger's syndrome. That being said, over and out, bro fist.